I'm hoping stuff works properly. Hey, Connor. Probably not going to be as active talking tonight because I'm just kind of in one of those. Is the audio off? Yeah, I had it off for a bit. It's been one of those days where nothing seems to end. um, yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, I was muted. Usually sometimes I'll just turn down my audio all the way if I'm like in one of those moods where I'm just kind of like, fuck everything. Because right now I'm just very tired. Physically tired, emotionally tired. I'm just like, I'm in one of those moods where I don't care. You probably already saw the video that I had to make as a response, drama-wise, because it's like nothing seems to fucking end no matter what I try. It's like I'm trying to go on with my life. I don't need more bullshit. And it's like every goddamn time, it's like something always happens. Yeah, I had to deal with that. So that was fucking great. Not really, obviously, but you get what I mean. So yeah, I had to make a response video and nip that in the ass. And right now, I'm just going to be going through working on some old projects. Yeah, I didn't see it yet. Well, if you want to, check it out. Share it around as much as you can. Because, you know, it's just like, now it's become to a point where I have to draw a line in the sand, figuratively. So, yeah, it's one of those things. I'm trying to think of which ones I could work on tonight. I'm gonna be working on a lot of old stuff. I'm probably gonna be muted for a little bit in the stream. Just kind of like, I'll chat when I can, and like, you can just, you know, chat whatever. But like right now, I'm just kind of gonna be listening to music and drawing. The Deadpool and Wolverine went to Disney Plus today. Yeah, I know, I saw. Yeah, I already saw. But yeah. Today has just been one of those days where it's like, fuck sakes. You know? I'll go check out that video. Alright, well. Also, a bit of clarification. Don't go harass the guy. Don't go looking for him. Don't, you know, even like him trying to bring up another drama with another, like, an artist thing, which really wasn't a drama. It was just like, I disagreed with how she was handling herself, and I didn't think certain things were cool. And he saw that, tried to make it into this, and this, and lie about it multiple times to people. So I kind of owe him a thank you for the screenshots to prove what he's doing. So there's two different videos, and both of them are going into detail about the drama. So, yeah. It's really all I'm gonna say on it anymore. I'm done after this. Like after this, I'm kind of just done. I'm cashing out because it's like it's not worth it. Like it's so stupidly dumb, and I don't want to have to constantly feel the need to respond to something so stupid, so minuscule. It's like he's just a troll. That's all he is. He's a little troll, and he's doing it to get attention. And you know, him doing this is kind of like just acknowledging what he's wanting. What he's wanting is attention. What he's wanting is he couldn't get his way. He had something happen, or well, basically the way he acted, he got called out. He didn't like that I basically, called him out. And yeah, like that's really about it. That's all I'm gonna say on the matter. But I am gonna turn myself down for a bit. If you want to just chat, go right ahead. I'll be looking, but I won't be responding as much vocally. So, yeah. right now? Yeah, it is. Sorry. Also, thanks, man. Yeah, I don't know. I was listening to some Arcane music from the new season because I was like, I wanted to do a stream, drawing, get some work on some old projects, remaster some stuff, and get my brain together. Because it's been one of those days, man. It's just one of those days. Like, people need to just stop with the bullshit. How are you doing, by the way? Are you feeling it any better? Um, how have you been? I know you've been, dealing with a lot. I'm just MS. Is it like muted right now, anyways? Because it's looking good so far. It is getting there. Trying. I'm working on I'm remastering or re-inking an old project of mine that I did for the villains of, yeah, no worries. Sometimes we need all those in some quiet. Plus, the point is, like, show off art, and yeah, yeah, same here. I think it looks cool, to see you go back, though. Yeah, it's fun to work on, like, old stuff I forgot. Like, you can, like, fix all the old, like, the problems with it and stuff like that. Plus, this way, I'm not working on assets the whole night, because I've worked on, how I think a Nightmare Before Christmas game would look, like finding the screenshots, making the HUD, and doing all that stuff for the last couple days, and I still have to do animated shit, and I don't want to work on that. I'm not an animator. I suck at animating. Plus, I've been dealing with, like, drama. It's like somebody just cannot stop. Like, he literally took something out of context with somebody else just to keep going more. Like, he didn't like that I called him out for his bullshit behavior in the Discord server. He acknowledges that... Oh, it's just like, it's a massive headache. I'm sorry. But nothing that you can really do too much about. I have a lot of, projects I need to do. Also, quick question, by the way. Yeah, the Nightmare Before Christmas concept is really cool. Thanks, man. And yeah, the drama stuff is too far all the time. Like, I saw the recent Discord stuff, and then after it's sad when, like, don't social media and they take a lot of, yeah, exactly. It's like people don't know when to quit. And the thing is, it's like, I honestly, I'm trying to go on with my day, I'm trying to move on, it's like, it's not worth discussing. It's like, he got called out, simple as that, move on with my day. Then he has to go and take something else out of context to kind of still fuel the fire and still make himself, a victim. And, like, I'm a bully, I'm an asshole. It's like, what? It's like, whatever, fuck this. It's one of those things where I'm like, I don't even care anymore. God, stop. Also, I do got a question for you, though. You did get from Ryan Payton the whole Arkham Shadows thing, right? How's that been going? I was curious because, like, I used to people screenshot my DMs and manipulate those comments and make me a jackass, so I totally get it. Different situation, but yeah, exactly. It ain't worth talking to. Yeah, no, it's like, if you want to talk about it, that's fine. But yeah, I agree. That's kind of exactly what they're doing. And, like, that at this point, it's become just more of a nuisance than anything else. I might re-ink a little bit more of this later on. I'm trying to think. One of the... Oh, yeah, Ryan did send that, and super helpful, and... Oh, yeah, like, he's a cool dude. He even acknowledged me on Twitter for, like, the fan art thing, And I hope the drama dies off, by the way. Yeah, me too. But the question that I was going to ask is, how is that game, by the way? I've seen stuff for it, and... Hold on, let me create a new... What's it called? Save as copy, save as copy, I don't care. The reason why I was curious, something that is a part of the Arkham series, and I don't know if it's in the game, but it would be a massive help. Because for me, it's extremely hard to find reference, because I was working on a fan art for the game. And there's not many references for the certain villains. Like, it took me forever just to find something for Wesker. And even then, it's kind of flawed. It's like most of the stuff for Crane is frontward shots, and like that's impossible. And matches Malone, and hold on, I don't know if you can see on the side of the screen. Let me preview it real quick, see if you can see it. You can't, damn it. I've only played hold on. Chat. I've only played 30 minutes, so I actually hit a wall. Because my dog... no, it's alright. Yeah, that's for... Yeah, it's okay. The thing for me is, like, I haven't ever played a VR game, so, like, I'm really... I don't know. Worried. I'll be in and out, by the way, because I stopped answering. I don't want to disappoint anyone, haha. No, you're good. Actually, the question I was curious about is, with the game, does it have a mode? Not really a mode, but you know in Arkham City, Arkham Asylum, Arkham Origins, even Arkham Knight, they have a bio of like 3D characters, like the models of each character in the game, right? For the villains, the heroes, all the characters. I'm curious, does the game have that yet? Or is that like, because like of all the footage and all the stuff, it doesn't look like it does. Like, because there's no references I can find for certain characters and stuff like that. And for me, it drives me nuts because, like, I would really want to draw certain characters, but the thing is, I don't have access to the game, and I don't... Google isn't helpful, by the way. Google is not helpful at all. You would think that Google would be helpful for screenshots and stuff, but so far, nothing. So far, it's first person, and I haven't gotten it far enough to unlock the 3D characters, but I think there is some bios. I don't know if it... Okay. Well, if there is any type of, like, references you can get for me, this actually would be a big help to me. Because as you can see, I want to do a fan art of the game, but I can't really... I don't have the... What's it called? K-Wing is doing a Let's Play, by the way. He might have more footage of stuff. Yeah, like, I watched some of his Let's Plays. Like I told him on Twitter, don't push yourself, man. Like, it's the same with my dad. It's like, he would not be able to handle VR. No. Oh, yeah. I need to figure out how to screenshot it. It's some of the posts that's the way I can. Yeah, like, the only way I got the pose for Batman in this fan art was like a modded bat suit for Arkham Knight. I really wanted to see if I can find a way to get like different angles or different stuff for like the different characters, like villains or whatever, because like I wanted to have or do a fan art that incorporates like certain ones. Crane, I will say the pose I have for him right now is a little odd, because originally what I wanted is something more... It's a sideways pose. He is wearing a mask, but it's more like... I'll give you a rough example real quick. He's basically side view, but he's holding up in a more delicately... Kind of like he's kind of like, you know, like those, like, doctors and shit? like he's holding like a very small vial, and he's like very gentle with it, and like maybe in something, it's kind of like that. That's what I wanted to go for, but it's like very hard for me because it's like, damn. It's one of those things where I'm struggling a little bit. But yeah. Also, do you think they will do an Arkham Shadow sequel? I think they should. No, I'm not gonna lie. I think they should, and I actually had a lot of ideas, and I'm trying to record a video. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about. I wonder if the scene is in like the Knights would working out like a cloudburst, kind of like that. Yeah. Like for Crane, I'm taking a bit from this one fan art for reference, but instead of like cutting off his arms and having it almost be like foggy, I wanted it to be like. You know how like if a doctor is preparing a shot, right? Where they're taking a vial, they're injecting something out of the vial to inject into you. It's kind of like that type of pose. I know it's creepy and I hate the doctors, but it's like something like that. But yeah. Funny enough, I actually would think it'd be so interesting if they could do a sequel to Arkham Shadows or a DLC. I personally think they should do a DLC. Now, this is just me. So far, Arkham Origins, the trilogy, the Blackgate, side-scroller, yeah. 10 years later, LOL, and I want a sequel to, I'm just not sure either way. Yeah, I can agree. Like, I actually, funny enough, this was just me. I know they're a VR studio, but VR is pretty much like first person. And in my head, I actually took screenshots from in-game, or not, from the screenshots from the what's called, and thought, okay, why not have like a first-person Batman game? Like, that's what they could do. You have your, they could have done it in a way where it works. Like Indiana Jones, Full Circle is a first-person, game. You have Resident Evil 7. You have all these what's called. I think they could have done it also for like have a first-person Batman game and it could work, and it could still be in VR. For me, I would love them to actually do a DLC. Now, hear me out for a second. I think it would be brilliant if they could do something like Cold Heart, but for this game. And instead of having like a Mr. Freeze type character, they could have it based around Clayface. Now, the reason I bring up Clayface of all people is that around this time frame, I think Robin is starting to be introduced. Maybe? I don't know. Because like I don't know what they could do. I think it'd be interesting if they can bring in Robin, but if they can't, oh well. But Clayface would be the perfect character to take from, because if you go back, you look at the Arkham City bio of Clayface and you compare it to the Arkham Asylum bio, the Arkham Asylum bio brings up the Mud Pack. And it brings up the classic type of origin that's very convoluted. When you get to Arkham City, it's somewhat changed. I think it would be so interesting to fuse both of those together, but also tell a story that's very similar to Cold Heart, and also the Killer Croc side mission from Batman Arkham Knight, where Clayface is multiple people in some aspects. Roman Daggett is in the story. He plays a very Ferris Boyle type role, and it does also pull from Iron Man 3, where kind of like with the Mandarin, you had Audrus Killian. I know Iron Man 3 gets a lot of shit, but this storyline could work. Where Roman Daggett, kind of like from Feet of Clay, basically there's some people that have been injured from like Arkham Shadows and from Matt Hagen, a female, I can't remember her name, another person, and one other one. Each civilian people that have been disfigured or injured because of like this or that, and he's kind of like offering a deal with the devil in some aspects. He's like, I have this chemical that can repair your injuries and make you look
this way again. But the thing is, it's like, because this was like prototypes, and this is like, as you get to this part, like later on, then you have the whole thing with Basil Karlo. You still have him trying to kill people because they replaced him in the movie, stuff like that. But he's also doing it because he can't act anymore. He basically was disfigured and injured, so it also ties two of the different things together at the same time. And I've been thinking about this a lot. Works very well. Yeah. I think it would be so cool to do this because I thought, as a Batman fan, like, I was rewatching Feet of Clay and stuff like that. I thought an Arkham version of that would be so cool because you can pull from Mr. Pig, the side mission, where, like, Pig has kidnapped people and stuff like that. But you can also kind of pull from, like, a murder mystery angle in the same way Arkham Shadows does, where basically these people were experimented on in some aspects. They were guinea pigs for Daggett, and you kind of explore how evil Daggett is in some aspects. Because he's never made appearance in the games. He's never been a part of stuff. And I thought, this would be so cool if they could do that. Because, like, the Mud Pack is kind of this obscure thing. Because, like, after Feet of Clay, it's never been mentioned. It's never been done. And I thought it would be so cool to bring it back, but kind of change it in a way where it's like, almost like the Victim Society from the new like the original Batman bit when Tim Drake died. It's kind of like that, but kind of tweaked. Sorry, I sent like 2 messages together and shared your stream first. No, you're good. Yeah, along the detail, like, you can work very new game, especially with Clayface with Pinocchio Studio. Exactly! Yes! Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, you could do so much. Even establish the Arkham Knight stuff, like with, it ends at Panessa Studios, and it also hints at later on in the timeline where Batman acquires it. And it would be so cool. Because, like, you can establish this murder mystery angle, you can go further, and you basically have it to where there's these different people, and they're different Clayfaces in some aspects, like they're shapeshifters, but they're also kind of victims. Eventually, most of them end up dying. Like, Matt Hagen dies, the female dies, one other one dies. All that's left is Karlo. And in his desperation not to get caught by Batman, and because, like, all the bets are off, he turns himself into the true Clayface that we eventually deal with in Arkham City, and that we know of in Arkham Asylum and stuff like that. So it kind of, like, mixes everything from all the comics and the shows and stuff like that together in a unique way. Because I know that the Mud Pack is a very weird thing, because, like, Karlo, he basically stole all their stuff and then, mutated himself. Basically, you can take that plot line, but mix it together with what we know of in the Arkham series, what we know of from other stuff, and fuse it. I think it would be brilliant. I would love to actually write that DLC. I'm not a writer, but it would work so fucking well. It would work so well because, like, I would love just a storyline just to establish Clayface in the Arkham universe. And it would make so much sense after Arkham Shadows to, like, have him be created and have it be like this Cold Heart DLC. And you can even call it, because, like, I think the original DLC for Arkham Origins was called, what's it called? Yeah, it was called Cold Heart. And then you had it's based on, and tweaked, obviously, but it's based on the original Heart of Ice episode. Well, why not have this be the same thing? It'd be so cool. And I would pay good money just for them to do that. Like, it would make so much sense. It would be like a cheap, easy DLC, around the same length as Cold Heart, change it up a little bit, make it like a murder mystery, and have all this, like, unique stuff, and have Roman Daggett be a part of it. Everybody, like, underestimates Roman Daggett as, like, that really underrated evil villain. And you look at the original Clayface episode, he pretty much his goons kill Matt Hagen by dumping all that stuff on him. So, like, he could not care either way. But it's still so cool, you know? Because they already established, like, the real, what's called? Hello, everyone. Unicorn Bunny. Hello! They already established, like, the Riddle, the video game as a reference to Arkham, not Arkham, the Batman animated series with the Riddler, the Riddle of the Minotaur game. I think they did. Now, I'm not for certain. I think they did, because I remember seeing it in a newspaper. Now, I don't want to spoil anything if I'm wrong. Now, if I'm wrong, I'll take my statement back, but I think they did. You know, I think they did. So for me, I think it would be so cool if they did that as a DLC. Like, do the origin story of Clayface in the game. That would be a pretty cool DLC that could really change up and kind of mix the lore of Arkham Asylum with City's thing, because what we know of in Arkham City is that he injected himself and stuff like that. You can kind of add on to it. So, but hey, that's just me. That's just me going wild with ideas. A Prometheus DLC would be helpful to build Arkham roster. Yes, I agree. But a complete Clayface DLC would be nice. Yes, it would be. I completely agree there. I think Prometheus... Here's the thing. And I'm still having trouble writing this I'm trying to write it in notes. For, like, how Paul Dini could have wrote Arkham Knight. But there was plans for Prometheus to appear in Arkham Knight's DLC, The Season of Infamy. He was actually, along with Victor Zsasz, there was actually a lot of cut content from Arkham Knight. I don't remember where I heard this, but I remember hearing it. And Prometheus was originally one of the people that was supposed to be in that, Season of Infamy DLC. And it kind of sucks that they cut him, because, like, he makes the most sense when you really think about it. Like, honestly, he made the most sense to be the Arkham Knight, really. But also it would have made most sense for, what was it, Hush to be the Arkham Knight. But then again, you know, they kind of screwed over Dini in some aspects. They retconned his Harley being pregnant thing. They retconned that stuff in because he had no involvement in Harley Quinn's revenge. Yeah, if you want more info on Prometheus thing, I can, darn it! Hold on. I can drop a video on it, like, 6 months ago, or I think it was mentioned. Yeah, like, go right ahead. I actually would love to hear about this, because, like, I don't know too much. You know, for me, like, I know some things, but I'm not, like, a know-it-all when it comes to the Arkham stuff. I know enough. Like, I remember vague shit, but, like, I remember a lot of stuff. And I know that there's, like, I saw your video on them remaking Arkham Asylum. I, dear God, hope they don't. Here's the thing with me. I think it could do well, but it would be a massive disrespect, especially after what happened. You know, I don't think it would work. Before the game of any info came out, I thought Azrael was Arkham Knight. Yeah, same. Well, here's the thing. Paul Dini actually built up Azrael. Here's the thing. You go from Arkham City, you have Azrael that was built up, this massive calamity that's going to happen in Gotham. You also have the Hush plot line. Both plot lines were fucked over in Arkham Knight. Azrael's side mission was decent at points, but also dog shit. Hush's was downright embarrassing. He's like, it's just so stupid. I agree with Unicorn. There was a lot of room for Origin sequel in general. Yes, there is. Honestly, Origins deserves a fucking remaster. I'm so sick of it. Here's my thing. Arkham Origins is... You can't even get the Cold Heart DLC with PlayStation Plus Premium. That's how bad it is. I've wanted to play that DLC for forever. And I never got to play it on 360. I never got to play it. Yeah, that was frustrating. Yes, it was. I never got to play it at all. And the thing is, it would be so cool to have a remaster of Arkham Origins. Fix some of the game's problems. Add the content, like the DLC that with the game. Cut the live service shit out of it. Maybe have some extra stuff thrown in there as, like, basically, you know, maybe establishing this, that, or the other that sets up Arkham Shadows. That would be nice. End of story. That's all they need to do. That's all I would be happy with. Just, like, remake the game, like, remaster the game, tweak it, fix it, add a few things, cut the shit that didn't work the first time. The game would sell well. There's a reason why people keep asking for an Arkham Origins sequel. I don't understand what is the problem over there at WB when, you know... Also, hello, welcome. So for me, it's like, I really don't get it. Like, Arkham Origins, yeah, it has its faults. But it's not a bad game. You know, it's like... It's one of those things where it's like, you can... it does have a good story. Now, it does have problems, but yeah, I'll stop you right there. Okay, here we go. The problem over at WE is they won't listen with their... Exactly. Will is pitching that Smallville sequel, and they're not calling him back. Yeah, but then again, you have to take into account, they're canceling Superman and Lois as well. And you also have, what the fuck was it called? You have, like, the James Gunn stuff. I personally give it like a year and a half. James Gunn, with the rate that WB fucked people over, he's not gonna last. He's gonna either get sick of their shit and leave, or he's gonna give them an ultimatum that's like, I'm gonna do the universe how I want it, you guys are gonna stay the fuck out of it, and if you want money, you let the creator create. If that's a problem for you, then I'm done. You can deal with your bankruptcy and your bullshit. You're already screwing everyone over as it is. It's going to be on you if shit goes sideways. Not anyone else. Oh, the benefit of most smoothing out the edges with the gameplay, graphics, and Injustice 1 treatment. Yes. Yeah, I think, yeah, that could work. Personally, I also would think it would be nice for them to add, shit that was missing. Like, I don't know. For me, it's just like, there's a lot of stuff that I felt like Arkham Origins really just missed the ball on. Like, in general, right? As you can see, I'm working on thumbnails as well. I need to tweak this. I hate that look. Let's see. Animation stills. It's called... Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Where is it? I gotta go back. Go through all my, save stuff. Nope, that's not it. That's not it either. Nope, that's not it. Animation, yeah. I see the Adore of Arkham Origins, but I think it doesn't... Yeah, I agree. I will say maybe I think they could have added some more stuff with, like, restructuring certain side missions a little bit more. The Mad Hatter one, I love that side mission, but I'm not going to sit there and sugarcoat that it would have been awesome, instead of just having the rabbits that, you know, here we got a... It would have been so cool to have the Tweedles. It would have made so much sense. Like, maybe you have to run after one of them, and they're basically under the control of the Hatter, and they're meant to either slow you down or kind of like egg you on. It would have been so cool. I'm not even gonna lie. It would have been so cool to see that. Yeah, the world needs a bit more life, so I couldn't agree with you. I think the one of my favorite stories, though, they did for the main story. Yeah. Yeah. I think with Arkham Knight, though, that would have been awesome if they would have just kept Dini. I'm not even going to sugarcoat this. Dini, they screwed him over. and I understand. Here's the thing. After Arkham City, you get to Harley Quinn's Revenge, and you get to Night. After Arkham City is when Rocksteady really started to go downhill. Like, no one's really going to acknowledge this, but that's that way I feel. Now, this is my personal opinion. But after Arkham City, with Harley Quinn's Revenge and a few elements, you can kind of see a decline. Just a little bit. Because they retcon certain elements in Harley Quinn's Revenge. Batman gets taken out by Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn. In Arkham Knight, the same Harley Quinn that gets taken out in a one-shot. And also, you take into account that she was pregnant. That they retconned it. And then... what the fuck? Yeah, there was glitches with the map in the first... yeah, I agree. Where you could fall and... yeah, there was parts in that game that were dog shit. Like, I'm not going to argue with you on that, because I can agree that there was parts of the game that really could have used fine-tuning. There was probably side missions that I feel like... the Riddler side mission is the biggest example of... fuck you. He's like... really, the Enigma stuff really could have been cut and nobody would have cared. Like, it would have made sense for him to, like, have the... just... with the stupid data packs and all that stuff, the whole blackmail thing, really just... how do I say this? It doesn't work. I get it functions as gameplay stuff, but really what it should have done... they should have really just done it as... I don't know. It's really frustrating because, like, the Riddler is one of those characters I adore, right? I really like him because I love brain teasers and stuff like that. But they really just... it didn't work. I still think that the series comes back in a meaningful way. The Riddler should have been replaced by Cluemaster just for a change. That I can actually agree with. But I still would have liked to have the Riddler be in the game, but he would be like this one and done thing. Because the Riddler is one of those things where he's very smart, but he's also a dick. Nicole McCaff, hey Jay. Thanks. It's good to see actually some new people in here. So it's like, I'm gonna try to work on this throughout the streams. So I've had like a ton of different fan art that I've never finished. So you guys are gonna be seeing me work on a bunch of stuff. Like, I'm gonna be going nuts because I have ADHD. Because I have like a lot of different projects, and for me, it's like I never can find time to get stuff done. But on the realm of the Riddler, I personally would have still kept him in the game, but I would have reduced his side mission. Like, the whole him taking over the GCU towers, that's fine. But I would have tweaked it. What if they what if they make the Riddler racetracks like Arkham Knight? No. I know those get a lot of shit, but I don't mind the racetracks. I think Riddler in Arkham Knight is just pretty much lost it. Because, like, you can tell he's lost so much. Even though he's incredibly smart, he's got it in his ass handed to him in every Arkham game. Arkham Asylum, he's not even in the game. You don't see him, but you outsmart him. Then you get to Arkham City, you do it again, but you actually do see him, and you punched him. You get to Arkham Knight, and it's just like... what the fuck were they thinking? I don't mind them either, but yeah. Personally, I actually think with Arkham
Arkham Knight really should have been an evolution of Arkham City when it comes to the Riddler. Because if you look at Arkham City broadly, the death traps and like the little buildings with the hostages are actually pretty interesting. It's like you do have a bit of a puzzle element there, and you have to solve a riddle from a box. And what I would have done with tweaking the whole Riddler thing is that basically taking the notes from Arkham City, but kind of tweaking it ever so slightly. So like with each informant, they give you like a puzzle. Like if you get to a couple informants, you fill out a graph, you get all the Riddler trophies. The last one, it's always the last one, they give you a puzzle box, right? And in the puzzle, there's like a riddle. It's like very unique, whatever. Like it's always something different. Like it's a different type of contraption. It's not like Arkham City where it's a giant box. It's always a different one, and you have to solve it uniquely. So like for one of them, it's basically kind of like pulling from Resident Evil 7 or Resident Evil in general. There's one that's like a jar mixed in like a box, and there's something type of liquid, but it's green. You have to use your detective vision, and you have to equate, because like things in water don't always equate, but that also relates to the riddle and stuff like that. I think that would have been cool. I actually fully agree with you. Like the puzzle idea was my favorite part. Yes, exactly. And the riddle, each one uniquely, like there's two parts to it, and it basically gives you a clue to where this a certain thing is. And basically, instead of like the racetracks, it's basically, instead of having the keys to Catwoman's thing just pull up randomly in what is it called? In the orphanage? Let me know if I'm wrong. It is the orphanage, right? Yeah, I guess it is. Basically, it would lead you to a location where there's also another hostage and a key. So and basically, it's someone, like you can have like Holly Payne or like one of Catwoman's allies, maybe an ally employee or just a random civilian, a cop or whatever. There's hostages and there's like other stuff. So I think that would have been awesome, is to like take this messed up thing of like a Saw death trap like thing. Hey Marie. And basically change it. You know, like still taking the elements of like Arkham City that worked. Because like Arkham Knight, here's my thing with Arkham Knight. Gadget-wise, Arkham Knight really doesn't give you too many new gadgets. Like, okay, Arkham City at least gave you a bunch of new shit. Now, Arkham Knight, on the other hand, gives you new shit, but you're really getting old shit. It fixes the Disturber, so basically you have a better version of the Disruptor weapon. You still get your Freeze Blast, your electrical stuff. You get one new weapon or one new gadget with the voice thing, and that's it. Also, I think Catwoman needed more story with Bruce. Yes, I completely agree. And here's the thing. As great as Arkham City is, the Catwoman campaign feels fucking pointless. I'm gonna say it right now. Arkham City is great until you get to Catwoman. Catwoman just felt tacked on. Like, okay, compare Marvel Spider-Man 2 to Arkham City. Marvel Spider-Man 2 has a lot of flaws, but at least it does one thing better than Arkham City did, and it's the multiple character thing. Because Miles has his own side missions. He has his own collectibles. You can also collect them as various characters and stuff like that. He does have a unique story that intertwines with things. Now, is it handled great? No, but it's there. Arkham City, Catwoman really just feels there. Like, you can play the game without her and it wouldn't change. And hell, when I first got the game on my 360, that's what happened. I basically never played her until the remaster. And the Two-Face boss sneaking... Yeah, pretty much. The Two-Face boss is pretty much Harley Quinn's revenge. That's really all it is. And you can tell that they just reused assets when you get to Harley Quinn's revenge because it's a pretty similar fight. You can't say otherwise. He goes to one room, shoots. He goes to this way, shoots. Then you basically have the same thing with Harley Quinn. She walks around, pretty much Mrs. Ass just walks around, aims her gun, shoots. Oh, he took me out. Get in here. And that's it. It's the same thing with Two-Face. I'm sorry, but Two-Face could have been handled a lot more better with a boss fight. And I honestly think as a character, he's wasted in Arkham City as like Catwoman's rival. Hell, Catwoman really should have had her own set of side missions and her own characters. Yeah, I never played the Catwoman DLC. Good. Because, like, here's the thing. You can interact with Mr. Freeze, you can interact with Mad Hatter, but she really doesn't have her own villains or her own side missions. Her collectibles are just Riddler trophies, and after the game, something. Like, she has nothing. She adds nothing. She only thing Catwoman is there for is the sex appeal. I'm sorry. To all the women out there, you got for all us guys, we know when you go back and play Arkham City, you look at the outfit, you look at the design, you can't sit there and say anything else when you look at Catwoman in that game. That's all she is. She's hot though. I'm not saying she ain't, but I'm just saying that that's all that's there. Like, literally, she adds nothing to the story. Even if you choose the other option, though. Oh boy. She literally, the game forces you to rewind back time and pretty much save Batman anyways. So she adds nothing. The whole stuff with Poison Ivy, you know, that boss fight really adds nothing. You are correct about that, Jay. Yes. And really, if you look at her in Arkham City, she's not really... You look at the plotline with Arkham City. Batman gets there, he thinks that Catwoman knows stuff. She doesn't know stuff, and she fucks off to who knows where. In the DLC, she basically, I want to get my things. And, like, Hugo Strange has them locked up in a vault. Then she has to go after Poison Ivy. It's basically Catwoman's DLC is pretty much the Resident Evil 4 Separate Ways DLC. It's rushed, and it's an add-on. It's meant to try to connect with the main plot, but it doesn't. It really doesn't. It adds nothing. And at least in the remake, as much shit as the remake gets, Separate Ways in that game is handled a lot more better than the original. I'm sorry, I just gotta say it. They added the hot white rabbit from... if you look at the concept art of White Rabbit, I wouldn't say that. we can beg to disagree, good sir. Yeah, if you want bad Catwoman DLC, that night one makes one delete the game. Yeah, well, yeah, that I can agree. Personally, I think if they were to redo, not the old one. Gotcha. But yes, Catwoman. How I would have handled it is she would have had some side missions of her own, because there are other characters in Arkham City that you could, that are in Arkham City, but they aren't, what's the word? They're in Arkham City, but you don't completely interact with them. You know they're there, though. Hush, Humpty Dumpty is referenced that he's there, but he's not. Scarecrow, Killer Croc, Harley, and stuff like that. It would have been interesting to actually have Harley and what's the word? Harley and Catwoman interact, because you really don't see them interact in Arkham City. There's nothing there. Like, you can't sit there and say that there is. Hell, Harley spends half the game, and at least the other half, after she gets the cure. Talia knocks her out, then ties her up and duct tapes her. And the last time you see her is near the end of the game. That's it. Yeah, the Batman movie also, Batman Year One comes. Yeah, Selina and their own character, but it's too bad they didn't use them. Yeah, I can agree. I would have still liked to have like side missions or like side things that connect with like the plot. If Catwoman's main goal, if I remember correctly, is getting her things and getting out of Arkham City, like that's her main goal. Well, like I wouldn't mind if it was expanded on and kind of changed up a little bit. You know, like even giving her some side missions, like where this happens in the story. Like you have the Mad Hatter thing, you have this or that. Like maybe certain things happen while Batman's here, Catwoman's doing this. So maybe you could have these characters be here, and Catwoman's the one that interacts with them. So like Humpty Dumpty, prime example. He would be an interesting character for Catwoman to interact with and stuff like that. Did you watch or play the Suicide Squad game? The amount of retcons was pretty awful. Oh boy. Here's something sad, and I'm still pissed at myself for even bothering to pay this much. And I feel so gullible for trusting Rocksteady. When the game was originally coming out, I knew that the game was getting leaked, and I paid, because I had the money saved up from my birthday. I had it saved up for all this stuff. I paid for the early, like, to get the, what's the word? The early access. Like the, what's it called? I hate myself to this day for doing that. I regret it. It was probably the worst decision I could make. And the amount of stupid shit with that game, I could make a better concept for like a Suicide Squad game than whatever bullshit that they cooped up over there. I'm sorry, but like Brainiac in the game, like the design, I hate the design. I hate the design. They also made Ivy a child, which implies that her and Harley dated, which, like, yeah, that whole thing made no sense. I can agree. That was never a thing in the arc. Well, no, I would react. I would take that back, because it's implied that Harley and Ivy have a history, though. Because if you look at their interaction in Asylum, it is kind of flirtatious. Because if you look at look Harley, basically Ivy knows Harley. She's like banging on the glass, and it's like, you know, there is a bit of flirtatiousness. Like even when Ivy turns around, blows Harley a kiss, and so there was something there. Now whether, because like you look at it for what it is, it's there, but it wasn't really expanded on or even hinted at any other point. So I can agree, but I also can disagree, because you look at Arkham Asylum, you get to that point in the game, it's kind of, I can agree, there is a bit of flirtatiousness, but they did not give us the story. Yes, that's agreed. Plus, if you look in Arkham Knight, when you look at what Ivy says, like, even poor Harley, and you look at their interactions in, like, when she says that to Batman, there is, like, a bit of caringness about Harley, and there's also a bit of flirtatiousness, while also simultaneously slightly, it's expanded on very little in the Harley Quinn, Arkham Knight DLC. Because, like, when you look at their interactions, like, it's very apparent. There has been something there ever so slightly because of the fact that the Joker's gone, but she's still obsessing over him. You get to Arkham, the Suicide Squad, that's not even there. It's like, it's basically what you got is the newer Harley Quinn. It's like, eh. I would have liked, actually, Harley and Ivy Arkham story with the character development. Yeah, exactly. I would have too. I think it would have made sense. I think here's my thing. In Arkham Knight, if Paul Dini was writing things, I'm pretty sure with the crap they pulled with Harley Quinn's Revenge, I personally think that they would have probably expanded and had Harley and Ivy have more relationship, because Harley, I think Ivy dies, and like there's nothing, like I don't even think it's ever been brung up to Harley. In Suicide Squad, they act like they do, but they really don't. It's like, really, Harley was locked up for the later half of that game, so that makes no sense. And personally, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. I really don't like how Harley is portrayed later in the games. Like, Arkham Asylum's fine, City's fine, Revenge is fine, but it needed tweaking. Because it's like, it makes sense, because it's like something Harley has done before, even in the animated series. But the way it was executed, though, does kind of leave a little bit to be desired. Because Harley is kind of a chump. In Arkham Asylum, she's about to flip kick Batman, and she just gets knocked out like that. Robin even knocks her ass out. Arkham City, she's thrown around multiple times like a fucking ragdoll. And you're telling me she's in grief. And I know you don't piss off an angry woman. That's just the one rule of in manhood. You don't piss a woman off unless you have a death wish. It's the same thing with a parent. But still, this is Harley fucking Quinn. The same Harley Quinn who's gotten one-shotted in both games. You get to this DLC, and like, I personally think if Paul Dini was writing it, it would have been better, but I have a lot of problems with it. Yeah, that's the one thing I will say. I enjoyed Gotham Knights, was they made Harley not an idiot. Yeah, I can agree. I think, but the problem, I liked some aspects of that Harley, but I personally think there's a lot of things, like, I think Game Dean, whatever, he did a video, he's done videos that sometimes I keep up with. It's kind of like fanscription. But he did a few videos, like, remaking Gotham Knights for certain things, side mission-wise. He brought this brilliant point up with Harley, and I thought, it would have worked. I actually like it. I don't think it, it would need tweaking, but it would work. And for me, I think it would be pretty cool to see. I like the Arkham games. I love every aspect of them. I think for me, they have some flaws. I think, here's my thing. It's like with the Spider-Man games. The Spider-Man games have flaws, despite what people like Caboose say. Despite him, they have flaws. Also, hello, Cole. But yeah, like, I really enjoy the Arkham games. I like, stuff. It's like, for me, it's, very Plus, with, like, stuff, like, I've been trying to, I'm still trying to write, some videos and stuff. What is it called? The
the Nightmare Before Christmas one, just to get a little bit out of track, or get my brain off track. That's been difficult, but yeah. No, I get what you're saying. I've said that for years. A lot of times we criticize something unless you're being a jerk. Also, nice art. Thank you. Because you really love it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And here's the thing. It's like, even, especially when it comes to Twitter, it feels like you can't criticize someone without being attacked. It's like you can't say shit. Like, people will always take something you say out of context, and if you actually read the full fucking context. And here's what's funny. It's like, with the whole drama thing, the whole thing was a bunch of bullshit. Like what I was saying earlier, Jay. The guy, it took everything out of context, spun it, lied about it, said it to these people, made it seem like oh, it's so funny. It's so dumb. But, yeah, oh yeah, on Twitter, you're gonna get jumped on if you yeah, exactly. Twitter is the worst. Like, Twitter, honestly, every day gives me a bit of a heart attack. It's like, every day I just like, God damn it. It's like, can we not act like children? Is that in the cards for anyone, please? Anyone? No? Fuck! It's like, can we, like, well, there's enough bullshit going on in the world. Can we not just, like, be civil about anything? Like, anything at all. It's like, whether you agree, disagree, like, it's, like, can we just not? It's not hard to have a simple conversation. Do I have to spell it out? It's like, shit. Yeah, not to tell you what to do, but I found the last time I spent on Twitter that, yeah, I agree. And in the random Discord server where people do stuff, the happier I am. Yeah, same here. It's like, the less, like, I don't even try to check Twitter as much. Like, now I'm spending less time on it because it's like, I post what I can, but I'm mainly trying to develop as an artist. I'm trying to develop as a content creator. I don't need the bullshit. Yeah, less time lost. My bad. No, you're good. Like, I get it. I get what you mean. Like, I'm not... dude, you don't have to get, like, you don't have to apologize. As someone with dyslexia, it's, like, I always have to check myself, especially when I'm using voice typing. There's always, like, autocorrect and bullshit that makes my shit look like dog shit. I'm better at drawing and coming up with ideas than actually writing them down. Well, yeah, social media, unfortunately, you have to put yourself... Yeah, if you ever want to grow, you just... Yeah, exactly. Like, even with the gaming channel, I'm always trying to prop up myself over there because it's like, I like doing those types of videos. Like, yeah, even if people disagree, and I've gotten comments that disagree with me, I'm not going to shame them. I'm not going to go after them and say, oh, well, fuck you, you disagree with me, boo, boo, boo. It's like, no, like, they're allowed to. Like, if you, like, I wish I would say I wish more people would pay attention to certain bits of, like, things, but the thing is, I am very scatterbrained, and I'm not very good at scripting videos. I'm mostly just going off of instinct and recording it, and I'm hoping to God it makes sense. I'm hoping to God it makes sense. And that's it. Like, really, that's really how I do it. Like, even with, like, even with that, it's, like, always something that I enjoy. It's, like, for me, yeah, it's not worth it. People disagree if someone's like, yeah, exactly. It's the same thing. It's, like, I enjoy making, like, the idea-based video game videos. Like, I don't know if I can pull off walkthroughs. Like, for me... Like, first of all, trying to record a walkthrough with my mic, I don't have the equipment shit, but, like, I have a headset, and trying to record it in-game, the audio is awful. It is awful. Trying to record it from the PS5 and then, like, try to present it as a walkthrough, it's, like, it's awful. So, like, I kind of enjoy doing the gaming idea-style videos a little bit more, because they're more fun for me. To really kind of, like, do something a bit different that, like, approach a game that I enjoy, or talk about something that I think has merit that really hasn't been talked about. You know, like especially like with The Nightmare Before Christmas, there's hardly any fucking games for that franchise. The only 2 games are on the Game Boy and the PS2 and Xbox. That's it. Nothing else. It's the same thing with other games. Like there's so many ways you can improve, do stuff, and I think those types of videos do so well because there's a lot more creativity involved, and you actually have to think in the realm of like, well, how would you do this? How would you approach it? Because, you know, it's made up, obviously. No one's going to pick it up, but it would be cool. Like, it would be interesting to see it happen. I think that's the same thing with, like, anything. I personally would love to see Arkham Asylum get remastered. Key difference. Remastered. Not remade. Remastered. Yeah, with Nightmare Before Christmas, it doesn't help that Tim Burton, who didn't even write the movies, really, he did, what was it? He did Outline, yeah, well, I think he did come up with, like, a lot of the ideas and the premise. He did help write it, because, like, Frankenweenie, well, I wouldn't say he didn't help write, Nightmare Before Christmas. I think that one was a team effort. That's the thing with that movie. I think that, I know he gets all the credit, but it was a lot of his concepts, and the poem that it was originally based on was his. But the thing was, a lot of it is still a team effort. I think that's the problem with anyone that's, like, at the helm of the wheel. They get a lot of the credit, but they aren't really the main driving force. It's kind of like with Marvel, right? Stan Lee gets looked at as the creator of all these different superheroes, but he's not completely. And, you know, that's the thing. Yeah, they did the child book and the character designs, but then the rest of the story filled in by everyone else, and he gets all the credit, which sucks. Yeah, I can agree, but I think the thing is that I think that that's the thing with any type of media and stuff like that. You look at, like, Jack Kirby. You look at Steve Ditko. You look at that. Now they get the credit for making Spider-Man, making all these superheroes and stuff like that. But originally, the way it was framed back in the old days was it was all Stan Lee. But the thing was that Stan was still a good person. You know, like, he's not a jerk. He was never, and God, I miss him. But he was still a good person. Like, he got a lot of the credit because of the fact that, you know, it's like his company. And that's really how it is. Like, most of the credit of, like, certain things usually gets cut on the dining room floor when it comes down to making shit, because of the fact of, like, how certain things are presented and blah, 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 blah. You know, you get what I'm saying. But I do think that it's still... I think that Tim Burton really... He doesn't really... I think he sees the movie as his because of, like, it was his concept. But really, if anything, it's a tie. It's nobody's movie. It's everyone's movie. It's no one person's movie in some aspects. It's everyone's, because stop motion director helped really make it its own. Danny Elfman with the music and how it ties into things. All that. So really, it's... I kind of look at it like that. Because I can understand, you know, where that whole thing is. I don't like it, but I can get it. You know. What else? Shit. Oh, Arcane came out. That's been good. What else? Like, no one talked about the director, sadly. Well, yeah, that's true. But I think he should get a lot of credit. Yeah, the concept call, but I can hire and agree. Yeah. What else? I probably should have explained this, by the way. I showed you the HUD, and I showed you the concept on Twitter and on the stream briefly, but I never actually explained everything. Give me a second.
So I made two different. I'm still working on them. I think it's a part of the. Yeah, I agree. Um, there's a lot of layers, so I'm gonna have to remove these so it doesn't slow down. But I actually wanted to talk about the HUD and kind of explain that's not the right one. Fuck. There it is. What my concepts were for gameplay, because I actually had a lot of interesting stuff. And I think it would be awesome if it was made. So, basically, I still think it would be interesting to kind of have mixing what they already had. I actually should get the what's called and show you and explain shit. So, I was looking at a lot of different. See, people. I subbed, by the way, also, but I am regretting to Discord before my bed and study tomorrow. Oh, have a good one, and thank you. That means a lot. Spooky. Yeah. I really appreciate that. Actually, I forgot that Suicide Squad game came out this year, but at least the movie are still good. Well, one of the movies is still good. One of them. Keyword. But the HUD to keynote to explain this. Bye-bye. See ya, bunny. But basically, the HUD in my head, what I thought of was I wanted to pull a lot from Devil May Cry, the original Oogie's Revenge, the original Game Boy, and also from the other stuff. So, like, various tie-in movie games around that time period, like Coraline, Monster House, blah, 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 you know, all that stuff. Like, even the Harry Potter Sorcerer's Stone, that was another one. I love James Gunn's Suicide Day. Yeah, it's pretty good. It is. So, in the HUD, you'll have two different, like, sets of octagons or whatever, because you have. Well, the third form is unlocked later as like a future set after all these different events. You unlock your Christmas form, because of course. But you have two different forms: your main form and your shit. I'm pulling a Victor from the Penguin. Skeleton form, not skeleton form, Scarecrow form. Yeah. I like the essential made HUD bar, actually bagged and creepy looking Halloween. Yes. I wanted it to have that feel to it. So basically, for your two different forms, you have like your main. You do have also another thing. I'll explain that in a second. But your Scarecrow form and your Skeleton form. So your Skeleton, you have like basically a set of like weapons that you can use for various attacks in your combat. So you have like a torch, another weapon, another one. And you have some long range stuff as well. And the same thing for your Skeleton form. You also have your long range type weapons, which the Soul Reaver or Whipper, whatever it is, from Oogie's Revenge does come back, but it is modified, changed a little bit, as more of like this long-range weapon. Now, you also have like projectile, so like each one has like your melee, or like your like close range, then you have your long range. So it's kind of pulling from Devil May Cry 5, where you have your swords, then you have your guns. So it's kind of like that, but for each form. So then you have your Christmas stuff, whatever. So basically, there's also another thing, which is basically your potions. So kind of similar to Oogie's Revenge, to get upgrades, you go to like a potion, like the witch's shop. You have that. You still have that. But it's kind of changed up a little bit, where similar to Hogwarts Legacy, you actually can find ingredients for some things in the open world, but also some things you can buy. You have also some things that are callbacks to Oogie's Revenge, but you have your Halloween tokens and your candy corn, which is like a currency, like two different types of currency. So, yeah. did you take any inspiration from medieval games? It kind of reminds me a little bit. I kind of did take a little bit of inspiration from it, just a little, but mainly medieval. I meant. Well, when you say medieval, I was thinking like knights, but I've never heard of that. Medieval. I need to look that up. But maybe, I don't know. I was taking a lot of inspiration from the various different things. Like the reboot of Devil May Cry, the reboot of Devil May Cry was the biggest one. For like Jack Skellington, you know the sign that he's attached to in his like scarecrow form? Like it basically the Halloween Town sign, right? I actually had the idea to take that and basically with like Halloween magic, he can shapeshift it. So it can turn into an axe that looks kind of like a bat. He can shapeshift it into like this pike or whatever. You know, like different little melee weapons for close range. Now, for long range, they do kind of help him out some facets, kind of pulling from Darksiders. But basically, the way I see combat, yeah. I like that idea of like Jack using magic similar like Kingdom Hearts. Yes. And basically it's like turns I drew this. Like it's a little concept I had. I have it. One of the many things I'm working on for like drawing assets. Where is it? Where is it? I drew it. Oh, it's changed. Basically, it's like he turns the sign and like enhanced it. Looks like a bat, but it's also like this giant axe. It's slower, but it has like good damage, and he can swing it around, kind of use it like kind of pulling a little bit from Devil May Cry 3, in the reboot. It's slower, but it has these like very heavy attacks to knock out enemies. But the way I see combat is infusing Oogie's Revenge, Devil May Cry, and Arkham. So, basically, in the Nightmare Before Christmas movies, it's kind of like a dance, right? Let me go to a different layer real quick. It's kind of like a dance. He always, like, dances, and he's moving around, even with the way he dodges. Like, pardon my crappy stick figure here. But, basically, what I thought of is, like, even applying that into combat with your weapons is, like, the way you're moving is kind of like how Batman moves to get to one enemy to another. So basically he's like how Jack could use like each weapon. It basically is like that type of mixture for like a dance. It's like the way you attack an enemy with this weapon, then you can pull them back for long range or pull them forward, and it would fill up this like combo meter, which is kind of like it has like a song, like it's being charged like a song, and the more it goes up, it's kind of like in Arkham. It's like your combo meter there. It's like a mixture, you know. So like the more, you know, it's kind of like mixing the rhythm style things with, you know, the way combat was. It's like mixing the two together in this more interesting way. So you have like it's kind of like a mixture of Devil May Cry 5, Arkham, and the reboot of Devil May Cry, and mixing them all together in a certain athlete. Oh, like you're trying to like incorporate the musical element in the movie, and yeah, kinda, yeah. Like even the way he uses his weapons, it's kind of like a dance, like even on enemies. And I figured that would work so well in the combat side of things because it makes sense for like Jack to do that. And I think it would be so cool. This way, when you're doing your comboing, you're like pulling an enemy here, or you're using your axe, it's like it adds this musical element. And of course, there would be custom tracks, and you're not reusing the old Nightmare Before Christmas themes from like how Oogie's Revenge did. It would actually have new themes.
But I also think like the combat would have this element of dance with even dodging. Like kind of like it's kind of like how Bayonetta with her movement being very feminine and like her dodges being this certain way with her combos and stuff like that. It has that type of flair to it. You know, it's weird to describe, but it's like it has those like all these different elements together and wrapped into one for like the combo system and the combat being this complex dance of doing different things and using your weapons, your long range stuff, and your potions. It's kind of like how in Hogwarts Legacy, when you're shooting your spells, you're twirling, you're flipping your wrist, you're doing this. It's kind of like that. Is the best way I can use to describe what I'm, you know, it a little bit better. It's kind of has that type of feel of an actual duel. So like you're dodging, you're moving, you're using, you know, stuff like that. I actually need to play through Bayonetta, but I heard it's really good and stellar. It is very good. I would recommend don't play it on normal. Start off with the very easier difficulties because if you play Bayonetta 1 on normal, you're going to get your ass handed to you a lot. And that's what it did with me. Like it did do that a lot for me because of the way it was. But yes, I can agree. But yeah, I wanted to incorporate the rhythm stuff into the gameplay and kind of make it make sense. Because like you don't really see Jack Skellington fighting. Like even in the movies. Oh yeah, yeah. I only got to play Bayonetta 1. I never played 2 or any of that stuff because it's not on PlayStation. And I don't have the money to get any other consoles. I just don't. That's for me. It's like I'm broke, bitch. I'm a broke bitch. So yeah, that's just for me. It's just like fuck that. I haven't beat Silent Hill, but it has been interesting though. Yeah, Bayonetta games are really 2 is my favorite. Yeah. I need to play 2. Like I've seen it. I know it's on Switch, but I don't have a Switch. So I'm like kind of shit out of luck. Yeah, you know. So I gotta have to figure out a way to eventually get more stuff. And I don't have a PC. I'm not a PC guy, so I can't do that. So, can't win but lose. But yeah, no, I like for me. I really, yeah. I need to go in a few minutes because like work stuff. No, you're good. I'm hoping a few more people join since I posted. I stop answering. It's been fun. No, I really appreciate it, man. Like it does mean a lot to like see, you know, you stop by. I have very chaotic streaming. I wouldn't even call them streaming hours, and stuff, because like for me, I just kind of do whatever, and when I can, and if not, you know, whatever. But like that's usually how it is. But like I honestly appreciate it. You know, if you gotta go to work and do stuff, like have at it, man. I appreciate you even. Oh yeah. But yeah, like also quick question by the way. Are you going to be watching Daredevil Born Again? You too, Nicholas. Yeah, I try to help out the best I can. Hey, it means a lot. Like I appreciate the support. Like, you know, I'll have to send you, by the way, the other stuff.
I don't know if you saw. Did you see the Superman game video I did? By the way, that video was a bitch. But did you see that one? I really tried with the gaming channel with that video. I really tried to make it make sense. Cause like, for one, I knew about their thing, and I was like taking elements from Superman, stuff like that. Yeah, I've only seen Daredevil season 1 and 2. I'll have to rewatch the OG. Yeah, like you should like rewatch the OG. I will say, here's the thing. Watch the Superman video soon because I was really. No, you're good. Like if you can't, it's all right. Like I'm not gonna. I ain't mad about it. Like I ain't gonna get mad about it. It's perfectly chill. I will say with Daredevil, I think season 3, it does take place after Defenders, because there is some interconnected shit. I didn't realize that till like I picked up season 3 and like watched it. I was like, when the fuck did this shit happen? So like the whole thing with like Defenders does happen, and the whole thing with like that. So I would keep that in mind if you ever watch season 3 of Daredevil, and then when you get to Born Again, you're not confused, because like, yeah, season 3 was pretty cool, but I had no idea Defenders was a thing. Yeah, not a lot of people did. They hardly marketed it. They kind of try to treat it like Avengers, and it's just there, and it's not there. It's like, I really wish they would have like decided to like treat it like it exists, because it's not a bad show. Yeah, I was so confused. Like, the Hand is a good adversary, and it is a part of Daredevil and stuff, and they're set up in season 2, but then like, you know, yeah, I still haven't watched Defenders. You only give it a shot. It's not bad. I think that it's a good show. Is it good? It is. It has a lot of interesting elements where it's like it's a one season, it's a one and done thing. It's really just meant as like a crossover type thing for all the Netflix stuff, and it ends kind of like, you know, dramatically, and then you have season 3 and that, you know. Jessica Jones was great, but I'm also a huge simp. Hey, at least you admit it. I can't say you're wrong, though. She is a good actress. I can't say you're wrong there. I will say, though, I think, Jay, it would be an interesting video to do, like, maybe this is me, but I don't mind if you use the idea I had for a Clayface DLC for Arkham Shadows, but I also think it would be a pretty cool video for you to do. I don't care, is talk about a rewrite for the Catwoman side mission in Arkham City or Arkham Knight. Like, remaking elements of it. That would probably get a lot of attention, because I know you don't do Arkham stuff as much, but we all know it would be so cool to like re-envision how the side mission and the structure, because Riddler put bombs in people in the main game. He's done a lot of a lot of stuff. I think it would be pretty cool to like go in there and be like, you know. Ironically, I have written like a disagree, but I'm bad at writing. I'm good at like outlining concepts like George Lucas, but then when I have to fill in them, it kind of sucks. Yeah, I'm the same way, so I can't sit there and say, you know, like, but I still think, like, if you have a good outline, like, it would be kind of like, okay, we know how certain things were from Arkham City, like, how do you expand on that? Like, that's where you can really just go from there. I did enjoy Luke Cage, but I was disappointed when it got canceled. Yeah, well, most Netflix shit got canceled the moment Disney bought it all. Like, really, that's all that happened. It's like, basically, Disney bought everything. Like, well, not really bought it, but he like they got shit, and Marvel and writes shit, and bunch of shit happened. I don't know all the shit, but basically it was all just like the typical, the typical shit. It's like Disney, it can't stop itself, but basically, yeah. The rumor is Jessica Jones is also rumored as... Yeah, I heard about that. I still think She-Hulk... I'll give Nostalgia Critic this. He actually made a brilliant point about She-Hulk if they actually did it in a different way. She-Hulk is great as a concept if it would have been done this way. He brought up this one movie. I don't know what it was. You'd have to check out... I don't remember... He did a video talking about She-Hulk, and he brought up this point. I don't remember which one it was. He talks about so much shit. And he brought up this movie and compared it and said, if they would have written it like this, it actually would have worked a lot better. And I kind of can agree. Like, despite, She-Hulk's obvious bullshit, I personally think if they would have done it a certain way and written it better, it would have been a lot better than what it was. Like, there was a lot of problems stemming from the Hulk anyways. That was the biggest problem that really the show had, is how they handled the Hulk in the MCU. So that was a big fuck you in the first place. But the other problem was just a lot of things. But if they would have done it kind of like this, I actually think I would have enjoyed the show a lot more. If you can find the video, have at it. But he brung it up, and I thought it was like an interesting point, because it's like, I really wouldn't have thought about that. And I think it would have been interesting. Because, like, She-Hulk is not a bad character. It's just how they wrote down how they told the story. I think it was in December, Disney December video thing. Yeah, see, you know what I'm talking about. So, basically, yeah, if, like, somebody can find that, watch it, like, he brings up that point, and I thought, that's not actually that bad. Like, that's actually not too bad. I would have cut Abomination from the show in its entirety, though. Classic She-Hulk was great, but they actually wrote the modern one as if she is a raging feminist. In my opinion, yes, I agree. And it seems constantly angry and making statements. Like, I can agree, she does kind of represent that toxic feminism, which is like it's not good. Like, I don't like it. I don't like, for a lot of reasons. I don't have a problem with feminism. It's the toxic feminism that pisses a lot of people off. The problem isn't feminism as a whole. It's the toxic feminism is the fucking problem. That's the problem. That's the point where things that gets, what's the word? It gets ignored in some aspects. Because it's like, basically what happens is that you have, what's the word? You have all this stuff that you could do, but you neglect to do certain things with it because of this, that, and the other. I don't know. It's like you just frame it as like this, and you really shouldn't. It doesn't... Ugh. Yeah, normalfism is great, but just picking fights with everyone is annoying, and that's what a lot of people turn out. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like, men are evil, men are assholes, we're the scum of the earth, women are superior, fuck you guys. And that's it. That's what it's turned into. And it's like, fuck off. It's just, that's really all it's turned into. It is sad because it's like, I don't have a problem with it, but it's like, now it's become, like, you should have seen on Twitter. Now, I don't want to get into this debate. Now, this is going to be its own can of worms. It's like someone's going to highlight this in the stream. They're just going to skip to this moment. And it's like, the stream has went from DC talk to Marvel talk to comics talk to drama to this to that. And it's like, eh. No, I agree. I just wish people would, like, yeah, mind their own business, stop going. Exactly. But the other thing is, like, there are men out there. Like, if you see on Twitter, you can't fight fire with fire. That's the problem with, like, some of the women doing this. It's like, the whole thing of these guys saying, basically, going out of their way to do something. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But the whole, you know what? I'm just gonna write it down. I'll write it down. Here's what. That shit is a problem. That is a problem. And when they try to fight fire with fire, doesn't end well. Like, it shouldn't be said, shouldn't be done. Oh yeah, people saying that kind of stuff are over the line too. It's just, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, I'm a guy, but even I know even I am like, no, that is not okay. Fuck you. It's like, regardless of who it is, fuck you. Like, I'm very opinionated. Like, I'm very straight to the point on either anyone. It's like, don't say that shit. It's a bunch of shit. You know, it's like, it's really become this, like, both sides, like, it's fueling the fire for that, and it's not okay, shouldn't be said. Then you also have the other side that's like, oh, well, they said this, so we're gonna, you know, like, they're all scum of the earth and all, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's using that as a way to weaponize it. Well, then all of the guys that, it's like, not all of us agree with this bullshit. I think it's all bullshit. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, people forget that everyone else is just a person, usually trying to do their best and make everyone, and so they make everyone their enemy. Exactly. I think, like, it's like you can't go 5 minutes without someone having a problem with what you say, someone taking something out of context, or someone just outright just lying their ass off just to play victim. And they can't fucking take any type of criticism or anything they say or whatever. It's like, you can say something and have the best of intentions, and someone will always find a way to fuck you over. And it's just like, that's really, it's like no side can agree, everyone wants to argue. And it's just like, no one can, it's like the Joker said, no one can be civil anymore. Everyone just has to yappity yap. It's like, fucking Christ. Enough of this talk. It's like, enough of this talk, sorry. It's like, it's never gonna end. Like, it's like, we gotta do better. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna end it there. We gotta do better. It's one of those things for me where, for me personally, I feel that it's not okay, and I don't know. It's like, you're not going to win for either side. But what else? What the fuck else is there to talk about? It's one of these streams where I'll just talk about whatever, because, like, for me, it's like, I enjoy doing it while I'm drawing. I like talking. I'm a bit of a chatterbox. Oh, man. What else is there? Oh, right. I forgot to... Shit. How was your birthday, man? I completely forgot. That's on me. I completely forgot. How was your birthday? Yeah, this is like a nice and chill stream. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I always try to make sure the streams are chill and we all just like have fun, talk about whatever, whether it's gaming or art. Like because sometimes I'll do video game streams. I've been recently replaying God of War, the original. Well, not one, but like 2018. So yeah, pretty much that's usually how it is. But I appreciate that. Yeah, it's usually how it is with these streams. But I really hope your birthday was good, man. 'Cause you deserve it. You know, it's like on the birthday, there should be no bullshit. There should be no problems. It's like, in general. Shoot. I really hope it was good, man. Also, it's November, right? Time flies fucking fast. It really sucks how fast time flows. And it really sucks. I wanted to talk about this briefly. Tony Todd dying was a complete shock to me, and I found out about it through News to Astonish. It completely broke my heart and ruined my night because I really wanted to meet him. I really did. I really wanted to meet him one of these days because he's a really cool actor. He voiced Zoom. Which was one of my favorite villains in CW's Flash. Tony, no, yes, he sadly passed away. It sucks. It sucked so hard. Oh my god, it hurts. It still gives me chest pain and like just a sadness because like he was an amazingly talented voice actor and actor in general. Like he was awesome. He doesn't get enough credit for like his voice range and what he can do. Like he is an amazing actor. And of course I do plan on doing like a tribute piece at some point. Yeah, he's one of my favorite horror movie things like Candyman. Yeah. I never watched the Candyman movies. I've seen bits of them, but yeah, I saw those like a little bit, and he did make those movies pop. Like he made those movies awesome. Because I saw clips of them, and he was really cool. Not just that, but like his voice work. He had like basically he was like Kevin Conroy in my eyes. Like I know that's a bold claim to make. Candyman. Yes. I know that that's a bold claim to make as a comparison, but he pretty much was just like Kevin Conroy when it comes to his voice acting. He had this tone that could be scary, he can be direct, and he can be just everything else in between. And he's such an amazingly talented... Fuck Marvel Spider-Man 2. Fuck the whole Venom thing. Even if he didn't voice Venom, he had this voice that he could... Like, he had this... He's just so amazing. And he deserves... He's amazing. Like, I know I keep saying that. I agree. Yeah. He is probably one of the voice actors I think I'm going to miss the most. Like, we've had, like, a rough year. You've had, like, I believe... How many... There's been so many people that have passed away. And it's like, you had Comicstorian. You've had so many. And it really sucks. You know, it's like, you never know how precious life is until, like, you really think about it and you, like, actually have to, you know, contemplate things. And, you know, you never know how shocking, like, when someone's gonna go until it's, like, it's already happened. And it's like, it's always gonna hit you.
whether it's family or it's an actor you really like or it's this, that, or the other, it's always important for me. It's like I never try to forget how precious it is. I know that I don't want to get too deep. You know, I sound like a preacher. You know, you gotta. It's like, no, I just want to be like as chill as I am about it, because like you never know. It's like you never know, and that's what makes it, you know, important. So that's really how it is. So yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to do his like lower belt, because it's like it's folded in a way. It's like very, you know. But yeah, like Tony, R.I.P. Rest in peace. Such an amazing voice, stuff like that. Also, hey Glitch, welcome to stream. Hope you're doing well. All that jazz. Hey, well, yeah. I'm trying to get this armor piece for like the Punisher figured out, because it's like really weird. Yeah, I never seen Candyman, but I knew yeah. I never really seen the movies myself. Like, I knew they exist. You know, it's like one of those things where you've heard of something, you know of it, but you don't really... Did he appear? I'm glad people have been... yeah, me too. Like, it's you know, it's... what is it? Candyman, I think, is one of his go-to roles, but he's had a lot of iconic stuff. He was the voice of Zoom. He did Next Generation. He was in Star Trek, believe it or not. I didn't know he was in Star Trek. That was a surprise for me. What else was Tony in? We all know he's voice of Venom. Everyone who he wants to say that, fuck off. We already know. But I'm saying like other stuff in general. Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff. No, nothing happened when I said his name. Sadly, nothing happened. Shame. But yeah. Oh, what else? Shit. It's been kind of a shitty year. You probably didn't say the name and no Candyman here. But yeah, no, me in general, I know he's real. Yes. You know, actually something sad was that there was actually a comment, funny enough, that basically brung up that fact. It's like, they wanted to say it enough times to this way they could bring him back, but like it's like they know that they couldn't. It would be awesome though. He was such a... Yeah, I've never heard of Candyman. Well, you're young, and it's a horror movie, so I wouldn't recommend it right now, and especially with its, like, tones and history with, like, racial stuff as well. I would wait till you're a little bit older. You're just a little bit too young for it right now. I wouldn't recommend it. It's one of those movies. It's like from the 90s. Yeah, but still. It's like the first one does like have a lot of like racial undertones and like and it's expanded on, and like especially I think the new movie, which and I just realized they're not going to make they're probably never going to make another new one after that, which kind of sucked. It's like with Lance Reddick, that was another shocker. That's another one that really just shocked me. And basically with that, you know, it's like you never know. Like you never fucking know. It's like it's one of those things where it's like
You never know, and it sucks. And with like Horizon being one of his best things, like, yeah, me as 12 years old who watches Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss. Well, in that case, here's the thing with those two. Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss are really not. I wouldn't even consider them like adult content. Yeah, they have cussing. Yeah, they have innuendos. They have references to stuff, but they're pretty much like Family Guy, right? They're kind of like more for teens. Like that, like that's really what they are. They're like, you can consider like some of the stuff like adult-ish, but really it's like become more like a kiddish stuff. Like, I'm not throwing any shade to Hazbin Hotel. It's still great, but it is kind of less for adults and more for teens, it feels like. Now, for, like, Candyman, it's kind of like the same. It's kind of very different. Because, like, the whole thing with Candyman is, like, yes, he's an urban legend, but he stems from racial injustice, from what I remember. And also a lot of, like, historical stuff. There's a lot of that in the movie. Like, there's a lot of, like, his origin is literally, he's a painter. Like, he basically is, you know, he's an artist. And, you know, like, his, you know, he basically was hired eventually later on to, like, paint this woman. But they fall in love, and around this time period, it's not good for the certain, you know, people, and basically what happened was when the father the woman revealed this, like her father, it did not end well. He hunted him down and basically told him to get creative. And that's all I'm going to say on the origin. It's, like, pretty dark. It's like, if you read the historical stuff for what happened during, that, like, those time periods, it's like reading up on the Holocaust. It's like reading that. Like, it's like dark level stuff when you look at the origins of something. That has some real world elements to it. Like, yeah, you can have your fantasy elements, but when you read the reality of something, you kind of get that lump in your throat. So, oh, okay, yeah. That's why I say it's more adult than you think. Like, Hazbin Hotel, you can consider it adult, but it's really not. But that's up to you. Like, I'm not shitting on anybody on that one. I'm not starting a debate. I'm just saying the facts. And the facts are, it's not adult. It's kind of kiddish at points. If anything, the Penguin is kind of adult in some aspects. Speaking of, who here has actually watched that show? Now that we're talking about it, right? I wanted to bring this up. Who here has watched The Penguin? I have. All right. Who here has watched the finale of The Penguin? Keynote. Finale. Ding, 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 ding. Anyone? Anyone at all? I don't want to spoil it if raising hand. Okay, we got one. Anyone else? Okay, we got one, so anyone else? I saw the finale. Yeah, okay. We know you. Okay, so how many? Cole saw it. Let's see. Anyone else? I don't see any of it. Glitch, have you even seen it? I haven't watched The Penguin yet. Okay, then we have Nikolai. Okay, Nikolai hasn't seen it. Glitch, I I don't even think you have HBO, so I don't know if you have or haven't yet. So I'm not going to say too much on spoilers. I'm going to say this. I'm going to give you my review. On a scale of 1 to 10, I don't think so. I'm going to rate that show a solid 9. 9 or 10. Here's the finale especially. Now, here's my problem with... I will say what... I'm going to get into my honest opinions about the finale. And I'm not going to spoil anything, so don't worry. I'm going to say it ends on a very dark note that sets up the Batman Part 2, kind of. But I also think it sets things in a very weird note as well. Because it sets it in a way where Oswald kind of is a little bit weird near the end. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to say what happens. But I'm going to acknowledge the weirdness of this. When you see the scene I'm talking about, you'll get it. Because it is very fucking weird. And, I don't know, man. I don't know what their game plan is for Part 2. I don't know what they're up to. I'm going to be honest with you. I am going to be honest with you. There is one character I really thought they weren't going to do what they did. Yeah. And I honestly was shocked. It's there's a part of me that knew that, just like any other trope-based show, there's always that one character that's just well, we know that's going to happen with that character. It's we already know. So for me, seeing it, it's I would have honestly thought there was a theory that they were going to turn him into Victor Zsasz, which probably by saying that kind of spoils it. I honestly thought that was the route that they were going to go. Boy, was I fucking wrong. Boy, was I wrong. I like the show too. I'm not going to sit there and say I didn't. There was one video that was rage baity and said they hated the show. But then they also praised the show in the same video. So it's what is this? The mindfuck? What the fuck? But basically, yeah, I couldn't see Vic as that. Yeah, but I think he could have been, if they played it in a very weird manner. But I also get that. I don't want to spoil anything. But I do think that I thought that's where they could have went. Basically, this character could have been really close with the Penguin. He becomes his enforcer or his a mercenary or whatever. Kind of if you guys remember Gotham, right? How Victor Zsasz was in that show. I thought that was kind of the route they were going to, where there is a little bit of that somewhat, where it's a slow transition. I see what you mean. Yeah. He is kind of going crazy the more he's with Oz, and eventually gets to that realm as not just as an enforcer, but as a killer. But I was wrong. There's a part of me that's disappointed, and there's a part of me that's glad, so I'm kind of 50-50. I personally would have thought that would have been interesting. Because it's I think that would have been cool. It's well, he's on top, the other still stays far at the bottom. And I think that would have been an interesting parallel, where also kind of Sophia, Victor kind of goes insane. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to say too much because, Nikolai, you haven't seen the show. I don't want to spoil it for you, buddy. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it. So I'm going to try to keep as many comments as I can, as vague as I can. So it's like I don't want to outright say shit. But it's a great show. One of DC's best, because here's the thing. DC has really been... How do I say this? DC's kind of fucked themselves up in the foot. They've shot themselves in the foot. How do I say that? They have been in such a... non-spoiling... DC has kind of like been in a downward spiral ever since, I think, Dark Knight Returns and shit. They fucked Tim Burton up on the movies. Then they went to Nolan. After Dark Knight Returns, DC has really been in a slump. Like, their movies have been nothing but bleh, bleh, bleh. Okay, bleh, 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 bleh. There's very few diamonds in the rough. Very few. Yes, DC is dead. It's not that they're dead. It's like WB doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. That's really all it is. WB is literally just, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's like they're so worried about the money aspect. You have to understand that good writing makes money. Good writing makes money. And if you don't have good writing for your movies, then obviously they're not going to do well. And I like James Gunn. I'm going to be honest with you. I like James Gunn. I really do. But here's the thing. CW Superman is a better Superman, in my opinion. Now, does the show have its problems? Yes. Does it have a lot of characters? Fuck yes. Does it handle some characters good? 50-50. But is it a great Superman show? Absolutely. I hope the new Superman movie does good, or else it'll make Batman they'll make Batman movie. That's the problem. I'll get into that in a second. WB has done way more than shoot themselves in the foot. Yeah, well, that's true. They pretty much what they've done is try to trim their hair with a chainsaw. It's like trying to cut. It's like trying to quote Nogla from the Van Oss crew. It's trying to shave my balls with a chainsaw. It doesn't fucking work. It's a dumbass comparison. I'm sorry, that was weird, but that was a weird ass joke. I'm sorry, but pretty much that's what WB has been up to. The thing with the DC is like they always have to resort to Batman because Batman makes money. But the problem is with Batman is that we've had so much of him. I'm pretty much Batman fatigued out. Unless they can do something original and something new and actually tell a good story, then for me, I don't care. That's really, it has to be a good story. It shouldn't be, here's the problem. From the set photos and stuff like that, you have like Mr. Terrific, and you have Hot Girl, and you have like, who the fuck else? Who else was there? I don't even remember. But basically, the problem with the problem is they need to do what Superman and Lois did. They don't need to just go in a realm and basically say, we have all these superheroes, we gotta do it this way, and this and this and this. The problem is that as good as James Gunn is, with Guardians of the Galaxy, yes, you can take the four misfits and make them work. But with the Avengers, it took time to build up these iconic characters and build up this universe. It took... peace out. Alright, see you, Glitch. Have a good night. Rest up. Make sure to like the stream. All that stuff. Whatever. It took multiple solo films, right? It took multiple. See ya. Yeah.
you had Captain America, and here's the thing. Someone brought this up, and this is a brilliant point, and it's part of the reason why I actually agree with them when it comes to how Endgame and every other Marvel movie after Avengers really was, how it was handled and stuff like that, because it's a massive tone shift. Because each Marvel movie at the beginning, now say what you will about Marvel, like if they're overrated or they're going under or they're woke or blah blah blah. I fucking hate that word, but you get my point. The problem with the newer Marvel movies now is that with Avengers, you took multiple movies that had each a different tone and different characters, and you had to incorporate that in a tie-in movie that was built up through each film that eventually was teasing an overall big bad. The problem with the movies after Avengers were that element started to lose its charm. It was kind of lost in translation, because you look at each Avenger, like, okay, Captain America, prime example. Let's go to the first one. Captain America tells an interesting story. Now you look back at the movie with the CGI, it has its problems, whatever, fucking who cares? But it has its own tone of this old-timey war movie that also has like that feel of the comics and the charm of things, while also telling the origin of Steve Rogers and doing things in a unique way that have been done but haven't been done. So basically telling that, like, having a unique style. Like, it's basically an old war movie. You get to The Incredible Hulk. The movie bombed when it first came out, and it had its problems, but it still was unique in its tone. Where it was like an old, like, it was kind of like a monster movie. It was like a Victor Frankenstein type of movie. You know, like, it's like when you think about, like, the whole thing with Banner and Hulk and shit like that. It had that, like, you don't even see the Hulk. It's actually what he looks like till, I think, midway through. I think you finally see him, I think, at the campus. And then when you do, he's this hulking behemoth, no pun intended. And, like, you build up also Abomination, which they butchered later on. I'll get into that argument later on. But you build up this whole thing, and it's very interesting. Then you get into Thor, and you also get into... I don't even think Black Widow got a movie. No, she didn't. And you also have Iron Man. So you have Hulk, Thor, Captain America, Iron Man. And I'm trying to remember what other movies were, like, you had this, because this was set up through each movie. Iron Man 2, I think? Yeah, Iron Man 2 was part of that. And then I don't know what else was in that time frame. But basically, each movie had a unique tone shift. It's basically had a very somewhat serious but interconnected point of view, where it's like you don't know that the other people are there until, like, near the end. And, like, you know, Iron Man had a kind of personal story, how it was handled, certain elements, whatever, fair argument. But it still was somewhat good, right? So when you get to Avengers and have all those elements, like, mash in with one another, so you have that monster angle with the Hulk, and you also had the God angle. You have the historic war angle. You have all these, like, tone shifts, and mixing that in and kind of building up this team that doesn't work well together, but has to. That's what makes the movie work. That's what makes it work very well. The thing with the later movies is that it kind of lost that. It's like you keep introducing all these new characters, and some that you care about, some that you don't. And you don't have them meet other characters, so when they do interact, it feels cheap. It feels like... How do I say this? it feels like with if like Shang-Chi fucking meets like Doctor Strange and shit like that, or like in like the stuff in Civil War or like the other stuff. It feels cheap because it's not built on, it's not working, it doesn't have that feel that the original movies had. It's like each one has this unique tone, and in a certain type of movie, while it's telling the origin story, it still has a tone that it's keeping up with. Like, Tony Stark is a playboy. He's an ass. He's like, even in each of the movies, he's kind of a prick. And he does kind of learn some humility, I think, near the end of 1, but also in elements of 2, he's kind of like, you know, struggling and stuff like that, but he's still, you know, you can say that Iron Man 2 was handled pretty badly with the villain and shit like that, and, you know, whatever. Because there was a lot of in-depth stuff that was originally there with its themes that were lost. But with the newer movies, honestly, I gotta say that the newer Marvel movies don't have the same feel as the originals, because when you introduce, like, these villains, and you're supposed to care, and you're supposed to connect things as well, and you're supposed to do this, it's like, how you're handling it now is just like slop, 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 slop. That's it. That's really all it is. I miss the days where you can tell a personal story. Like, the whole reason Doctor Strange worked so well, which it was in development hell for forever, but it told the origin story in a unique way, but it also simultaneously did something unique. And when he appears in the later movies, it does feel like they just use him as a plot device in the same way they use everything else. And it's like, fuck off. Yeah, am I wrong? I would like chat. Like, if anyone in the chat disagrees, I'd love to hear any opinions on this. Like, am I wrong? Does anyone disagree with me on my points here? Like, you're free to disagree. I'm not gonna start like a debate or who's right, who's wrong. I just want to know if I'm the only one who has this type of feeling with the MCU right now. It's like, it's not about the, like, wokeness or blah, blah, blah. It's about, like, how, in some aspects, it does feel like there's a disconnected tone shift. And I would love to see if if I'm wrong. You know? Like, it's the same thing with, like, DC. It's like, they've had the same fucking problem for years. So yeah. Shoot. You know, hey, I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd, I know, I think we're all nerds, but, like, for me, I'm very opinionated on a lot of stuff. And that's really how I feel with the MCU right now. I love to be proven wrong, though. Like, if anyone feels differently, let me know. Show of hands. Show of hands. Because, like, I would love to be, you know, see if I'm just the only one that feels that way. What else? Also, if you guys are wondering what I'm working on in the first place and, like, what I'm tweaking right now, originally this piece right here, this fan art, was actually supposed to be a Marvel's Defenders fan art. But I got so sidetracked and I forgot to work on it that I never ended up getting anything on it done. Sadly. So I'm kind of trying to work on it a little bit tonight. while I can, you know. Because tomorrow I'm going to have to be spending all day editing for the gaming channel, trying to get some videos out for that. So that's going to be fun. Because I do have like a gaming channel for all that stuff. Who taught you to draw? Well, funny thing is, I'm kind of self-taught. I kind of, like, I've been drawing for a long time, ever since I was a kid. My birth father actually is, like, a bit of an artist, but, like, he doesn't really do much with it. Like, he's just kind of, and I don't see him too much, but, like, I got a little bit of that talent from him. But I've been drawing and kind of teaching myself since I had been a kid. And, like, I went through several different, like, phases, and learning. I picked up on, like, different artists, like, Bill Sienkiewicz, as I got into, like, my teens. Especially around, like, high school. Like, I started getting in my head more and just drawing and, like, stuff like that. Because it's, like, you get, like, when you get bullied a lot and you're just, like, getting beat up 24/7, it's, like, at a certain point, it's like you gotta have some type of escape, and for me, it was like drawing was my escape. So I picked up a lot from just, you know, practicing and figuring out as I went along and trying to get even better. And it took me a while to figure out, like, a style. Like, to answer your question, God Chicken 14. Which I kind of like that name, not gonna lie. God Chicken 14. All praise the God Chicken, yes. Sorry, not making fun, just having a little bit of joke. Sorry, I have a terrible sense of humor. But I picked up a lot from, like, you know, other comic book artists and, like, people that I really admired. Like Alex Ross, Bill Sienkiewicz, Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane. And then there was other artists that I started picking up on. It's all good. Well, thanks. Like O.R. Ashe and Rob Orporla or Alpel. I can't pronounce his last name, but basically, two of the artists at the Ink Tank, basically who was working on, like, a fan comic of Ben 10 and Danny Phantom, which I adore. And also a couple other artists that I've been watching for, like, a long time. Who else? Even, like, friends, like, other artists that, like, I, like, talk to and, like, you know, chat with. Like, I have, like, friends that are artists, like, on here, that we, like, chat and stuff. Like, Don, he, you know, like, he's gave me advice. He lives in, like, Hawaii. He's a good guy. Who else? Shit. I have, like, a lot of different people. But, like, mainly who actually, like, taught me to draw, really not really many people. I picked up a lot from, like, being inspired by different artists as a kid. Like, it took me a while to, like, figure out what medium I wanted to do. Because originally, I went through traditional, I went through watercolor painting, I went through a lot of different stuff. And then when I got into, like, a digital format and, like, trying to figure out and do stuff like this, it was, like, it was really fun for me because it's, like, I can really come up with my own style and, like, experiment of, like, what it is that I want to achieve with, like, my art and what I can bring to the fold. Because, like, I think it's always fun to, like, experiment, and I'm always, like, picking up new tricks. And I kind of enjoy this. Like, it's like, with traditional, if you make a mistake, you can't completely erase it. And for me, it's, like, something that always annoyed me. But, like, with doing digital, it's, like, it's no different than traditional. It's just a different way of doing it, with different tools and different things that I've had to learn and pick up on and keep getting and understanding and getting better. So, like, there's always something for me to kind of pick up on. And if, like, I have, like, a reference, like a statue or
or like something that, you know, I can use to my advantage, it always helps. But yeah, I'm mainly self-taught. I have like had people like maybe help me out or like give me advice when I need it, because I'm always still learning. Like, I'm 21. I'm still young. I've been drawing since I was 9? No, I take that back. The first ever thing this is embarrassing, but the first ever thing I believe I drew was on the wall in my parents' house as a little kid. And like, you know, like that was like I drew on the wall. Like that was, I think, the very first thing I ever drew. So it's like, and then I was like, always had the inclination towards art. It was just like, what is it? What do I want to draw? And what, like, I always had the inclination towards like superheroes and other stuff. But like for me, there was always this inclination of like always experimenting and like trying to do different styles and stuff like that. I know it's like, it's probably boring, but it's like, that's really the crux of it. Yeah. There's a lot, you know. Shit. Like every project always gives me like a different style or a different way of going about it, and it's always fun, you know. It takes forever to do any type of project. You can't get something done in a day. You know, it's like, it always like, if you have, I think for me, it's like I have a lot of projects, and usually it does take me a while, or take me a live stream, or like a month or a week. It's like, that's just how it is with any type of art. I think, what's the word? It gets easier the more you go along, you know. But you know, I know I sound boring, but I actually appreciate the question. If there's like any other questions people want to ask, or anything to like, you know, say anything, have at it. I don't really care. We can talk about comic stuff all day, or what's it called? I will say my battery on my tablet's like 25%, so like I am going to be ending the stream in an hour or two, so I can charge stuff up, and you know, probably, you know, get ready to, oh, there's him, probably get ready to head to bed, because like, what time is it, like 11? So I might, you know, get some stuff done here. Also, what do you guys think so far? Do you guys think also, if you guys are curious about the thumbnail being Vecna, that was an old project that, funny enough, I was gonna work on during this stream, but I didn't realize that I already completed it. I didn't realize when I did that. You know, when are you planning to stream again? Because like I'm fine of heading out. Maybe tomorrow, maybe. It just depends. Like sometimes these streams are like, sometimes I stream around usually at night, and then sometimes I'll stream in like the afternoon. So like usually around that time frame of like when I stream is around, for sometimes it's like maybe at around the 9, 10, or 11 era for like nighttime, but occasionally I'll stream a bit earlier. If it's like late in the afternoon and I got nothing going on, then yeah, I think the next stream I'll probably do is on either tomorrow or probably, what is today? What the I don't have a calendar. Shit. Superman and Lois were released yesterday. I guess today is like a Tuesday or a Wednesday? What is it?
shit. I don't have my phone. It's charging. What is today, anyways? Like Tuesday, Wednesday? I guess maybe like, okay, it's Tuesday. So either tomorrow, Wednesday, or Thursday. Because I don't think I'll be having anything going for me around those 2 days. Like maybe tomorrow, because like I will try to get as much done as I can editing wise and figuring stuff out wise, and then maybe stream afterwards. What else? Or maybe Thursday, I think. Yeah, so either tomorrow, Wednesday, or Thursday afterwards. So it's like either late afternoon or late evening. Because I don't have really a streaming schedule. Really, this was kind of unplanned. I was kind of like, got nothing going tonight, might as well do something. and honestly, talking to you guys, also with Jay, I really appreciate him. He's awesome. He's an awesome dude. You know, like he deserves all the support he really does. And so like I appreciate every single one of you guys for just stopping in and hearing me ramble, talking, watching me draw, all that stuff. It does mean a lot. But yeah, like around those 2 days I'll be streaming. I think I'm gonna probably end it for the night because I'm like really starting to, my back's killing me, my hands are hurting, and like my tablet's almost dead. So like, yeah. If you guys want to, you can check out some of the videos on the gaming channel or art channel or just stuff on here because I post whatever on here. Yeah, I'll catch you next stream then. Well, yeah. Because I push out on the main channel, it's just whatever. So it's like chaotic. So you can see some media stuff, art stuff, whatever. So I really hope you guys have a fantastic night, evening, morning, afternoon, or whatever time frame it is for you in the world. Have a fantastic time, rest of your day or whatever. I'm not good with outros, but thank you guys so much for stopping by, liking the stream, subbing, all that stuff. It does mean a lot. So you guys are awesome. Keep being awesome. Peace out. Bye-bye.